it is my daughter's graduation from kindergarten. So we have exactly 20 minutes to check out the Blob in Let's Play and Chat. And my buddy Blake Siefken is going to jump up here and we're going to play this game together. The Blob is a remake of an old Wii game that has now been ported to the Switch. It was created by an Australian company. I wasn't reading any of the nice comments in there, but Blake will catch us up on some of the comments and stuff. But basically in this game, you were bringing the world back to life, which was quite revolutionary in its time. And I always thought that this game was an underappreciated gem. It's kind of like a living buried treasure because it's back again.
Hi, everyone.
I don't know if it's available already. It might be out on the market already, but I always thought this game was really cool. You basically...
It did pretty well when it first came out because it was on the Wii and everybody had a Wii, right?
And they made a sequel, so they did make more. But then it just sort of, I think it suffered from the THQ missteps. You know, they were.
Didn't this have some kind of tablet peripheral thing?
That was the misstep.
Was that for this game or some other game?
No, I think for the sequel they made that silly tablet just as everybody was getting into iPads and stuff like that, and that was a big part of why THQ bit the dust. But THQ Nordic is alive and well, and they have a lot of these old, the rights to a lot of these games, and this was one of them. So I'm super glad that it's back. I can't hear it though, so I'm going to make sure it sounds okay.
I'm just Googling it. Oh, it's for a different game that they made it for.
Well, they did. Yeah, it sounds.
They didn't make it for this game specifically.
No, they did. They did some Marvel. Like I forget what the concept. It was a cool idea, but it was just not. Okay. Hi, Blob. I'm Zip. I'll show you how we roll in the Revolution. So it's kind of shared some similarities with Jet Set Radio.
Oh.
Yeah, not Doom. No. Where you're kind of chased by.
No, I said Splatoon.
Oh, Splatoon. Yes, it has some Splatoon type stuff in there, but. Jet Force Radio or Jet Set Radio has this oppressive police force out there trying to stop you from having fun. And this game has an oppressive police force that's trying to stop you from adding color to the world, which sounds insane, but there you go. So you play this blob-like character with the ability to soak up paint, and you just run around adding paint to the world. And so there is a little story mode, and then there's a free play mode, and there's a party mode. I don't know what all the new stuff is in this game, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit of it. Some of you probably remember it. Some of you might be seeing this thing for the first time.
It came out 10 years ago.
Yep.
It's hard to believe. It doesn't seem like 10 years ago.
I mean, it's nuts. Like, I am hankering to play the mid-2000s. We'll probably talk about this as a buried treasure, but the mid-2000s redo that Sega did of Outrun, which I just thought was amazing. It was just such a fun game, and I can't believe it's not backwards compatible. I'm like hankering for an Outrun experience, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna boot up my Xbox 360, and I haven't done it yet, but I know when I do, I'm gonna have so many updates, and it's just gonna feel so.
It's almost
archaic.
daunting to try to when you turn on an Xbox.
Yes.
It's like verifying the update. That takes 20 minutes right there.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I know I will, and I know I'm going to be freaked out when I see the date when that game came out. But I think it was like 2006 or something.
I think so. Yeah, that seems about right.
Which is nuts.
I have a question from Ryan Landis.
Yes.
Question, Vic. Have you played Luminous on Switch?
No, I almost bought it, but I know exactly how addictive it's going to be, what the gameplay is going to be like, and I know that it will stop me from playing other games I should be playing. I haven't asked for a code. But someone might contact me and send me the review code, and then I will review it. But I don't want to just get it for fun because I know I'm going to freak out over it and be super addicted to it. I will eventually get it, though. I'm sure I will.
I remember getting a Katamari vibe from this game.
This too? Yeah, absolutely. Cameras.
And I'm getting that kind of right now, too.
Yeah. That's a game that needs to come to the Switch as well.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Rolling it, you know, with
Okay, so I'm adding color to the citizens.
Jordan Cunningham wants to know if we're going to Comic-Con next month.
No, that doesn't. I don't think so. It's so expensive. I think I've talked about this before. It's such a great trip. We've done it so many times, but Comic-Con's getting much more crazy and much more, I don't know, kind of full of itself a little bit, you know? So you're waiting in these long lines to talk to people that are sort of not super enthused to be there, and not so much the celebrities. I think the celebrities are usually pretty happy that they have that opportunity, but it's, I don't know. I just see a lot of the same types of content over and over
for the
and over
money
again.
it costs to go. It's not really worth it.
Yeah.
In terms of content that we get,
Yep.
it's a fun trip because it's a
Yep.
cool event and we get to say we went to Comic-Con. But yeah, it's not. If it were a little bit cheaper, a little bit more content that we could get out of it. But
Yeah,
it's just
and
not
it
worth
sells out instantly, and the hotels cost a fortune, and
Yeah.
we'll go back again. I mean, we almost went this year. I'd like to go back and do some more moderating of panels and stuff. That's always a huge thrill. I love it. But we are going to Fan Expo. Both Blake and I are going to be there. And maybe somehow we're going to jet from Fan Expo to PAX. They're, I think, on the same weekend. So I don't know if we're going to be able to make it to both. It'll be a bummer to miss PAX because we had a great time last year. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
But hey, we didn't go to Fan Expo last year, so this way we get to.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, Comic-Con was in isolation for many years, and many of those years we were going there all the time.
Yeah, but now there's little Comic-Cons all over.
Yeah, now there's stuff all the time, and it's also so fractured. Like, one of the things that I was so excited to do was talk to the Mr. Robot people a couple of years ago, and we did an interview, and then we got some decent views, but not huge views, and it just felt like that was awesome for us. But
But it
I
wasn't
think
an awesome story. Yeah.
yeah, and we built a pretty cool story, but then people are just seeing those same interviews with these guys and the other thing
Maybe
too.
people don't know how the press lines work. Maybe we should explain it.
Well, and the other thing that I noticed too is that sometimes we'll be asking the questions, and then I'll look on somebody else's channel, and it's our
it's their-
microphone,
yeah.
and they're using our answers.
So we should
in
tell
their
them.
stuff.
Most people don't know what you do is at Comic-Con when you do those big interviews. You have a meeting room in a hotel.
Yeah.
And they have a row, like a line from one wall to the other of reporters, and then the actors come and they go down the line and just do interviews with people.
Yep.
And a lot of the time they scrum together, so it's like us and 4 other outlets all kind of talking to them at once. So that's why you see everyone's microphone on top of each other. And then other outlets will just use everyone else's questions and interviews, and it's a big clusterfuck.
It's super exciting though. I mean, it's
fun.
It's
but
awesome talking to these really, like, we interviewed the whole Expanse group, which I don't think we ever cut. We didn't
I
put
think
that.
we used parts of. I don't know.
But I'm a huge fan of that show, so that was a huge thrill. But there's a couple things at play here. Like, we talk to the people that are making the movies before the movies are out, so we don't know if the movies are going to be any good. And with the shows, there's a lot of cool shows, but you guys know, there's so many shows, it's almost impossible to keep. If TV was the only thing we did, we'd be able to keep up with a lot more of them, but we talk about a lot of other cool stuff. So half the time, we're in, like, I remember we met the whole team from Winona Judd and did some interviews and stuff. I'd never seen that show
Winona
before.
what?
Or Winona Earp.
Yeah.
Winona Earp.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell are you talking about?
Winona Judd. Famous
Winona
country
Judd,
singer.
yeah.
So, long story short, we're not at Comic-Con this year, unless somebody out of the blue says, Vic, we need you to come down and moderate this or whatever, and then that's happened before. But we will be at Fan Expo, and then maybe we'll be at Comic-Con next year, which will be rad. One thing that I definitely want to do, so if there's any PR folks that are watching this that are working with networks or movies or whatever, I did the Sense8 cast interview a couple of years ago with Netflix. And we did it all over Google Chat, and so people were in different time zones because they shot the show all over the world, and it was awesome. It was just a great experiment, and I just thought it was just an effective use of everybody's time. I had a good amount of time with people, was able to ask everybody questions, and I'd love to make more videos like that with cast members of television shows and movies and things. Okay, so I think I'm going to. So if you're in PR and you deal with that kind of thing, reach out to us. We'd love to do that kind of stuff.
It's harder for the PR people to control the messaging, though, if it's being done remotely.
I think it's the same. They kind of set up the chat rooms.
It's harder for them to step in and be like, no, don't ask that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right?
Which happens.
Which PR people like to be able to do.
So that happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
I remember I was at NAPP once. This is a little telling tales, but I was at NAPP, which is the big television conference, and we would go down there to talk about stations picking up our show, but also to get interviews, because all kinds of syndicated shows were there to kind of promote themselves. And I met the cast from Everybody Loves Raymond, and I was about to interview Ray Romano and Patricia, I forget her last name, just about to roll, cameras all set, and then the PR lady said, "No, he's got to go. He's got to." So she just jumped in and yanked him off, and Ray kind of apologized to me, and I was like, "Okay, that was totally not cool."
Yeah,
But
I've had a
what can you
few.
do?
I've had things like that happen to me. It's usually when you're not around and it's just me doing the interview, Vic.
Oh yeah.
They tend to be more respectful of you, I think.
Uh,
Yeah. I have a question. Jordan Cunningham wants to know if we're gonna get an N64 Classic this year.
I don't think so.
I think we will, because they patented it, or they trademarked the name.
You think it's coming this year?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, they're re-releasing everything.
I
And
think we're gonna see it.
You think we're getting it this year?
Yes. Yeah.
I think we're probably going to get it next year. I don't think they need to do it this year.
Yeah, but it makes so much money, so I think we're gonna see it this year.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good bet. You want to bet $5?
No.
Okay.
'Cause I don't bet because I don't care. But no, I the only reason I think that is because Nintendo did trademark it at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, I mean, and it would set up a precedence, but then that would mean that GameCube Classic Edition is next year.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Okay. I mean, they're not doing the virtual console, so this is the way that they can do it.
I mean, they make so much money off of these things.
They're amazing.
Right?
I'd love to see somebody with all of those mini consoles just buy a little mini rack. Set up with a little mini monitor on
Yeah,
top
their
of it.
little mini controllers, a little mini TV screen.
That'd be great.
Doy Owen is asking about the controls in the game.
A little bit clunky, because I mean, I didn't read how to do anything, and it does look weird. Like I feel like I'm far back from this character. Okay. And I've been answering stuff, so I haven't been able to like just flow through this like I normally would. Okay, so I lost. Every time you touch the water, by the way, you lose your ink. So very Splatoon-like, and I do believe I get some weaponry that lets me shoot some stuff. I think like Splatoon. I mean, it's been so long. I just remember liking the game a lot, but I've forgotten a lot about it too.
Well, it came out 10 years ago.
Yeah. See, this area, I feel like I've really brought to life. Oh, you have camera control, but it's okay. Maybe this is what I do here. Okay, you're really building up the color energy, Blob. It's getting warmer. Even the sky is turning back to blue.
Radians.
Okay, make yourself orange and paint the glowing buildings. Okay. Okay, so I gotta make myself orange. Okay, here we go. Mix red, yellow, and blue to make new colors. Okay.
People in the chat are talking about rare games on the N64 Classic.
Yes, I mean that's the big question.
That's the big question, yeah. If it doesn't come this year, it'll be because Nintendo is still trying to work out deals for that.
I mean, that would be so stupid if there's no rare games.
Yeah.
That would be a massive fail.
But they have a good relationship
Yeah, I know.
with Microsoft.
I
right
know,
now because
and precisely. So if the rare stuff isn't there, it'll be like, what the hell? What are you thinking? And Bond has to be there too. They got to figure that out.
yeah,
If they don't get GoldenEye on the N64
that's
Mini,
the best N64 game.
like honestly, that's everybody's going to be asking that.
But if they could, why hasn't it been virtual consoled yet? Right? Because they did that remake a few years ago, but
And they put in.
like, 'cause
Daniel
it's
Craig.
this big tangle of rights issues, right? Because
Yeah.
it's Activision. Is it Activision that has the?
No,
Bond?
not anymore. That's
Well,
all
yeah.
slid.
Yeah, so it's Rare, Nintendo, and the Bond rights holders. Whoever has the game rights right now.
Something's happening because there's James Bond Lego on the way, so something is going on. Like there'll be a Lego James Bond video game if that's happening, guaranteed.
Well, yeah. Well, they've already announced the Lego sets.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some funky things are going on with the video game rights.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a game because Warner Brothers is the new film distributor of James Bond.
Yeah.
So they'll definitely have at least a Lego video game. But yeah, I don't know about GoldenEye. Like, it still holds up because we have the cartridge kicking around. Like, I
yeah.
played it a couple of years ago. Like, it's still fun to
Great.
play.
Yeah.
Even though you can't do the all the modern shooter stuff, it still feels good.
Abby Jameson wanting the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. That would be great too. I only ever got Bonk's Revenge for that game. I bought the portable.
What is the TurboGrafx 16 Mini?
Well, it was another cartridge-based, powerful game system that came out around the time of the
Neo Geo era?
No, it was pre-Neo Geo, around Super Nintendo era, maybe even a little bit before, like between
I never had this console growing up.
the Sega Master System and the Genesis, I think.
Oh, this thing. Yeah, I've seen this thing.
And I had the
Oh, yeah.
handheld.
We have one of those around, don't you?
Yeah, and it's I don't think it works anymore. Like some of it's broken. I don't know what's broken on it, but some of it's broken. But I only ever bought Bonks, and I bought that at the of all places, the Classic Gaming Expo in Las Vegas, which is an amazing place to go if you're a collector for those kinds of things. I bought the every game on one cartridge for the Vectrex, which was pretty rad, which I have as well.
Tyler Fisher's asking about plaid shirts for sale because we're both wearing plaid. We don't coordinate. It just happens.
Chances are pretty good one of us will be wearing a plaid shirt. Oh, look at that. All those people are coming out. So the game is very freeform, but it pulls you in because you feel like you're contributing. You know, like you're the hero this city needs.
You're painting the town.
Yes.
Red.
Yes. Got it. Okay, so I actually don't got it because I've just been speeding through everything to try to just play, but
Is this all you like? I can't remember. Like, don't you fight enemies?
yeah, you do, but
stuff at some point.
I'm still in kind of training mode here, and I'm getting rewards just by painting the buildings and making life more fun and livable. So now I'm brown because I added blue in there. It's gross. Let's add a little more red. And what color will I be if I add red? Back
Just
to
red, yeah.
Okay.
What a shame with THQ that they went under.
Well, they're
Because they had so many good.
Yeah,
Well,
they're back,
but
they're
they're not back. It's a different company with the same name.
Yeah, but you know what? It's hubris as well. You know, you make too many mistakes.
Yeah.
Like THQ had a lot of great licenses, and I reviewed all of them, guys. Like I reviewed the Wall-E game and went, "This is boring." I reviewed the Incredibles game and went, "What? How did they screw that up?"
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they squandered stuff.
Yeah. They had some cool games for sure, like the what the hell was the game series where you could blow up everything?
That's every game, Vic.
No, the destruction was a big part of it. The destruction of the environment.
That's every game, Vic.
No.
Oh, Red Faction.
Red Faction, yeah. The Red Faction series was awesome. I think they had Descent for a while as well because they owned Volition. And I don't know what happened to Descent.
Is Volition still around? They're doing
Yep.
Saints Row, right?
Yes.
Who's Saints Row now? Is that Warner Brothers? Who owns that?
That is not 2K.
Who publishes Saints? Oh, Deep Silver has it now.
Deep Silver now, yeah. It has changed a lot from the old days.
Wasn't Deep Silver just bought by?
Yes.
Yeah, they were bought by the parent company of THQ Nordic. Yeah.
That's why all of this stuff is starting to come back again.
Right.
I've got a code coming for Red Faction Armageddon remastered, I think.
Yeah. No, it's. Yeah.
Remastered.
No, it's Gorilla remastered.
Is it okay? Remastered.
Because
Red
it was
Faction
Gorilla and then
Remastered.
Armageddon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I played Red Faction Gorilla. I actually finished it.
Yeah, those are cool.
Isn't it sad that the benchmark for whether or not a game is good is if you finished it or not?
Well, I mean, games have always given us too much. You know, they always have. But some people go all the way. Like even God of War, I think the stats were just revealed about God of War that only 50% of the people that bought that game finished that game.
Really?
And that is.
Because you think with story-driven games like that, it's the most likely to be finished.
I was shocked to read that because that game is so compelling and the story is excellent and the gameplay is excellent. It's nearly a perfect game. You know, it's as close to perfect as we're getting in 2018, and only 50% of the people that bought it have finished it. Easily my favorite game of the year so far. Yeah, this plays okay. I'm having fun. I mean, we haven't really gotten into any conflict yet, but that's coming. Let's go into here. Right now, you're just sort of dealing with the funky mechanics. What time we got here? Actually, I think we're going to call it quits, my friends. I don't want to, but I've got some obligations. I've got to go do
You're
some
all
dad
colored
stuff.
out.
No, I'd like to keep going. And I will. I'll get you guys a review of this. I'm intrigued. This speaks to me. I've always been a fan of Blob. Thank you, Blake. And thank you, everybody, for watching our episode of EP Live today. Hope you guys had some fun, and I hope you guys get out there and check out Sicario. Nobody goes to see the movies anymore. It's really hard for the movie industry to, make successful films that are not these big superhero tentpoles or Star Wars or something, and even Star Wars is struggling a bit. But when a movie like Sicario 2 comes out, Day of Soldado, you got to go out there and support it. It's definitely an R-rated, violent thing, though. Very cool. Day of the Soldado. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That wraps us up for the day. Remember, we've got tons of other content for you to check out. Really, seriously, like 2,000 or 3,000 videos for you to check out. No shortage. So please do check some of that stuff out. And if you dig it, hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button. Thanks for watching, everybody. Play forever.